There we go. Don't echo me, please. Stream's running. There we go. No, don't do that. Do not do that. There. No. Stay there. And then we let the good people know we were here. That there's something worth watching.
You think this is worth watching?
Sad face.
IRL, dude.
Kargan, you're a little faint to me. Is that just me, guys?
Have you turned me up?
No, but you were better there, but I can. Let me just bump you a little bit.
I'll just bump you. So
I
there.
haven't turned up
Better?
significantly, so.
And then.
Testing.
Yeah, that's better. I've got you about 150.
Alright.
Groovy.
Oh no. No. Yes. All right. So, hello everybody. This on the 29th day of Jovis in the year of Kalis 1002, a war council is being summoned by the head of the household to mount a raid against the Romulans, who aren't directly attacking House SupQit'aH, but they are attacking or at a sort of shadow war with House Rasa. So, opportunity to bloody some Romulan noses, but also to strike at a ongoing rival and problem. So, we will cut straight away to the war room. And this one. Shut that's it by default. Honor to House SupQit'aH, says the chat. You better say that. I mean, what? Sorry.
What? Huh?
Representative Kargan, you'd be looped in over subspace because you're probably still on Kronos at the moment. See, in the event that the council needs to be made aware or has questions about what House SupQit'aH's up to, you kind of want to know what your own house is doing. Because the answer of, I don't know what you mean, usually doesn't go over well.
Before this meeting, I would have liked to have asked Tarkin to get every single bit of information on House and the commander, Vetham, from Rasa and her files and records possible, and for Kargan to do the same on Kronos from the available intelligence information to a member of the High Council.
So I will call for each of them to make a recent command roll, difficulty of we'll call it 3, since he's going to make some effort to make it. Oh, I get threat. What am I doing? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Doop. So reason command difficulty 3 for Kargan and Tarkin to have assembled some intelligence on the Betham family. Yeah.
Have we updated any of the directives or anything? Or the
I apologize. I
House.
did not get around to that either. Let me look at them. I can do that real quick. Fundamentally, the only thing I'm really going to change is Directive 1, since we've restored the house. Yeah, it's basically going to read something like, raise the house still higher with glory. So the first part is basically going to go away, and just the second part of Directive 1 will stand. But I don't think... Yeah, the rest of them still look good to me.
Yeah, I don't think I can use any of them. Can I use research as a focus for this one?
I will take it.
Can I ask what the Klingon symbol in the lower right with the little eye icon is?
That's going to represent the advantage. I just have to give it a title.
Okay.
And I'll use a threat to get an additional die as well.
Could Oda assist one or both of them?
Yes. I'll put that here so it's not just sitting in the room. You also get both roles can be assisted by influence plus rep. Can't spell influence. So Kargan got 3 successes, so 1 momentum so far. Oh no, that's right on the money. Sorry. Tarkin is 2 short.
That's 2 for him from Oda. For the first assist. Do the same thing again. So I guess 2 to add to Kargan's score and 1 to Tarkin's from Oda. Kaldar, you want to roll the house?
Sure, I'll do that.
And momentum is the red. Red is good at this game.
With the red, you can do a lot of things, like go faster, for example.
Huh.
That's the right setting, right? Or am I in the wrong game?
I could see Klingons as space orcs. It's totally fine. Uh-oh.
Okay,
What?
so first roll for adding Kargan,
Oh, that's true, yeah.
and then roll again to help out Tarkin.
There we go.
Yay, success for both of them.
Oh, hey. You actually have a rather high quality level of intelligence because you both kind of... Because now you're able to not only get intelligence on Vetham, but... Hey, chat. Klingons are space orcs. That not okay. Throw out space orcs.
They're definitely Tau. Just
We're space samurai, but unfortunately we're space samurai from the Sengoku period, so...
yeah. Weeb.
It's been required to slap some Klingons around yet. Not yet, but one day. One day.
No, that's got to be pinned.
Yeah. So you're between Kargan and Tarkin's investigations. You're able to compile a rather high-quality level of intelligence regarding the Vetham family. What I can tell you in general is that Vetham is a family that is has strong ties with the Imperial Navy and has served with distinction for many generations. More recently, Vetham is the head of the family right now, is a commander in the Navy and poised to go up the ranks. He is a known militant officer who is all about the traditional Romulan values of strength through larger fleet strength, and army strength. He doesn't think that the Romulans should have really stopped warring after the Dominion War. They should have just pushed their advantage on the Federation and Klingons. But he was overruled since, well, he isn't a Senate member, and the Senate as a whole basically said, look, we had a really tough war. We're going to give it a bit before we do anything. And Vetham has been not outright dissident, but it is obvious through your intelligence that if given the chance, he would love to go to war. And you guys know that a little more precisely because he's been pursuing his shadow war against House Rasa regarding the cloaking technology. That's the second part that you get from the high quality, is that he has that. He's been trying to develop the advanced, a sort of phase cloak version, but it hasn't really come to fruition, and Rasa really beat him to it. Not phase cloaking, but just better cloaking tech. She went a different direction than him. He's still working on the phase cloak tech. What else?
Do we know if he has stolen Ross's cloaking design or any information on it?
He's been trying, but especially during the civil dispute you guys had in Bamoth, but he presumed Rasa's defenses regarding her technology was going to be lowered. If anything, they're even tighter, so there's been a lot of... he knows where to go to steal it, he just hasn't succeeded as far as you're aware. You do have one free question regarding the intelligence you have on Vetham, because you have such a high quality file.
Shall we ask about what kind of resistance we might face?
Yeah, I think we need to figure out where he's potentially vulnerable to a raiding attack that would do the most damage, and yeah, what kind of his strengths and dispositions are. And we've got 2 momentum to spend if that winds up being more than a 1 momentum ask. Oh, and I put the modified dictate 1 in the chat.
Okay, I will change that. Raise House SupQit'aH ever higher with glorious deeds and honorable actions. So I'm gonna change that in our pins. So I'm gonna jump up to there. So strike that out and put in the new one. Actually, no. We'll do it this way. There. Jump back to present, and I'll get you your file. There is a particular system. Wait, what? Chat saying very weird things about Klingon kickstands. Is that what they're called? Hold on. about to give you a ship class, but I don't know if that's what it's called. I'm going to double check, make sure I'm not wrong. No, not their bloody soldiers. They have 3 soldiers guarding the whole place. Well, this is going to be easy.
3 soldiers, but they're all kaiju.
Indestructible kaiju. You can do it, right? I believe in you.
Of course. Only 1 Klingon is needed to defeat 3 indestructible kaiju. It's no.
Just eternally wrestling them. There, that's a defeat of a sort. That... Oh, it is called that. Okay, yeah, never mind. Messaging your 2 intelligence people, as it were, a star system that is weak that is open to raiding and actually is something that Betham holds that's near the border. He has other holdings and estates deeper in the Empire, but at that point you'd need a much larger force, and you'd need to declare war to mount that sort of offensive. This star system's actually close enough to the neutral zone border, the border that you could zip across and hit it and then zip back before the brunt of the Romulan fleet could turn around to attack back. But there will be ships in the area.
Did we get the same system?
I think so. Did you?
Yeah, you both got the same system.
Alright, cool.
Okay. I guess I'll report that it's Haroda. Believe that he's in the dual system, which is I don't know what that is, but there is a starport there. It's a frontier installation. And essentially it's in a marked spot of bedrock, with no fuel facilities or bases present. It's a scout base, and there is... So, is this also a planet in here?
This is the planet Itrul Visari Prime.
Oh, okay. Okay, so that... Yeah, so that's a planet, and it's has a standard atmosphere and standard tainted atmosphere, and will require us to wear masks if we wish to get on board, land on the planet. There are 40,000 population there. The government is currently active. There are imposed leadership that's answerable to an outside group, so an outside colony or area. Rifles are prohibited there. Kargan, do you have any information on the patrols around this system?
The patrols?
Or security ships?
It is guarded by 1 Dederidix and a couple of Romulan scout ships. But that seems to be about it. Should be a cakewalk, as
Yes.
the humans would say.
Seems like a vulnerable system.
So there's a scout base there, and what else? The planet with about 40,000 colony of 40,000 on it.
Yes.
A warbird and 3 scout ships that seem to be its main security force.
Mm-hmm.
Must be one of their conquered, one of the conquered worlds near the borderline. So it's not a Romulan, it's a Romulan-controlled planet, but not one inhabited by Romulans.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Then maybe an inspiration. An example should be set. You could take it with the help of the inhabitants, so to speak.
taking it would be
You
one
mentioned
thing.
it's on the border. Is that where it is strategically on the map?
On the map... Whoops. That would have done you nothing. Come back. In the pins, there is the map. And in there... you'd be looking at... Actually, it's a little deeper than I thought it was.
Oh, so blurry.
It's in 6P. And you're coming out of... 9P. So you can... Oops, that doesn't help you. So it's fairly along... It's along the borderline for sure. It's basically one of the bordering Shackleton corridor sector systems.
See it.
So normally the Ramen neutral zone would kind of create that would shield that off, but that's more between the Federation and the Romulans, not so much the Klingons.
Do we know what the...
Taking
Please continue.
the system would be one thing, holding it would be another. Do not wish to involve the Empire in a war, which is what holding the system would take. This is to be a raid. We have to inflict maximum damage on Vetham. Maximum damage on Vetham that we can, without leading the Empire into an unnecessary and unprofitable war.
You're wise, Joe. I retract my my suggestion to take it.
Perhaps we can recruit some worthy warriors to our cause. Something that will help our house.
Among the populace or mercenaries?
Both. Perhaps leaders that may cause their own revolt. Or resources that, such as mercenaries, as you mentioned.
Certainly we can stir up the populace enough to keep Vetham busy pacifying the system rather than continuing this secret war against Rasa and SupQuit'aH. We should prepare military supplies and weapons to beam down or otherwise distribute at various points among the populace. Romulans do not allow them to have rifles, therefore it seems to me they believe the population is at least potentially restive.
I think there's a challenge there from the chat.
Thought I'd share that.
Yes, an insurrection is what's required. We should not throw our resources so flagrantly, as it is difficult to maintain that planet under our control.
However, I believe it should be simple enough to provide the populace with enough Klingon small and medium arms. After all, the Empire is one of the galaxy's largest dealer in such items. I think we could provide them with such weapons while maintaining maintaining the Empire's plausible deniability.
What about training? What about training in the use of said weapons?
Again, this is to be a raid. We go in, strike hard, hopefully sow the seeds for the populace to continue to tie down Vetham's forces and damage his reputation in the Senate. And we extricate ourselves after doing the maximum amount of damage possible. We do not have time to loiter and train revolutionaries. At least, not unless we wish to leave some agent provocateurs behind. While there is only one Dederidex and 3 scout ships that we know of in the system, this is within Romulan space, and the Star Empire's navy will not be long in responding to an extended Klingon presence in the system. Not to mention, again, the likelihood of a larger interstellar conflict.
So, is our target just the Romulan resources? Shall we avoid any damage to the population?
There is no honor in killing civilians. The Romulans.
So, GM, what are the there's a scout base, like some sort of small star base?
For a momentum, I'll go into that. As you...
Yeah, be good to know.
So, what is strange about this planet, and this is another reason why the intelligence file, this is why it's a file that even Kronos, the KDF on Kronos knows about, and this comes through Kargan's ties, is that normally, whenever you do any installations for the Empire, you would, Romulan or Klingon for that matter, you like to put them, if there's any asset worth anything, you put it at a decent star base, or at least a star port on the planet. As noted in the file, the starport is minimal. It's, here's some beacons, land here. Just enough to keep control of the planet and ferry stuff, shuttle stuff back and forth. However, there is a Romulan base separate from the populace, but it doesn't seem to be it's different than the planetary administration facility for Vetham. Like, Vetham has like an administrator that taxes and watches over the people, but there's also a scout base there that has, one would normally think that's where you'd put a like a subspace telescope of some variety, but again, you'd want to put that in orbit, not on planet. So, but it's not big enough to be a proper military facility, so it's been classified as a scout-based design. Its exact purpose hasn't been determined by the KDF, but it's been noted on file because they saw it and they're like, there it is. And that's why the High Council hasn't ordered an attack on it, because it's not a big enough issue to them. But it might be an issue to you. It might be it is of interest to you, I would assume.
We send a force to deal with the bigger base, and then we send a small to look through the scout base covertly. How does that sound?
There's a bigger base.
That's what I understood.
Well, there's the administration building like the governor's building that manages the planet, and then there's the actual scout base itself. There is a starport, but it's more of a navigational thing. It's a transit hub. Because if the populace wanted to rise up, they need ships, and they're not allowed to have them. So, because that's what the Romulan Navy's for. You don't need ships.
Okay, so we want to knock out the administrative building. We want to either destroy or pull the teeth of the starport, depending on which we think might give the people the greatest advantage. And
Pull the
then
teeth,
we want to infiltrate / assault the scout base, find out what's up with it, and then, more than likely get what we're interested in there if something crops up, and then destroy the place. And deal with the 4 ships that are supposedly guarding the system. GM, could you put the name of the planet in the one chat or another, so I can spell it right for my notes?
Iltro Vasari.
Yeah, I was not spelling that right at all.
For as a pronunciation guide.
Do we know what the native population is? Is it one species?
That's a momentum spent.
Well, does
Can I-
Tarkin get a free question?
Yeah, can I use my science officer free question?
Oh, fudge. That's right, you could, yep. I did not even think of that. So... it is 1 people. I can tell you that. I could... standard carbon-based anthropoids. So, what Starfleet would call humanoid.
Do they have flat faces?
They seem to be an affluence-based society. So think like the Ferengi, very centered on wealth, material things, that sort of thing.
Are they a pre-warp society?
They were, and then the Romulans came and made them catch up. Which that's why they got conquered so easily, because there's very few of them on that planet. They basically were at middle industrial age, and then Romulans rolled in, and there's just no fight there.
Well, it's not as if being a warp-capable species indicates that you have any ability to fight. I mean, look at the Tellarites.
They are known to... Intelligence reveals that they are an empathic species. less the carry-feely thing and more of a they use that for their commercial gain. And they
Telepathic Ferengi, Jesus.
And they vilify the Romulans. They absolutely despise them because now all their profits are going to the Senate, and since they're captured people, the taxes on them are extremely high compared to a Romulan planet. So, according to some intelligence, it also suggests that they're pushing really hard for Romulan settlers, or some change to their contract with the Empire, because right now they're not doing too well. I mean, the Romulans are happy with how it's going on, so is Betham, but, they're not. The Iltrill themselves are not pleased with the situation, but what can they do?
Is there any intelligence on any existing resistance or distance movement among the Iltrill?
There can be for a momentum and a threat, but
I'd be fine with that.
Yeah, I think so.
Actually, that would be a different.
Let's remember that he's up to like 10 threat now, and once he gets to 12 or 13, there is another Dederidex coming our way.
Yeah, be all right.
Yeah. Where's my icon? Where? No. Shoo.
Playing the kids game. That's what happens.
I'm so used to playing in high threat games.
So you have extra intelligence. Actually, no, that would be a different icon. You know there's an existing resource there of a resistance movement. Where's the token for that? There we go.
If I could have like 2 days to figure out who is in this resistance movement and how I might contact them, then I'll make sure that there is full-blown anarchy by the time that we get there.
That might work. I was also thinking of knowing exactly where to, or not super exactly, but if we can find out basically where they're operating out of, that's where we would concentrate our quote-unquote drops of military supplies.
As I said, you can leave that to me.
Excellent. It'll take us at least several days to get there, as is.
I'll get moving immediately in that case. I might need some money, but we'll deal with that. Since they are a commerce-based or an affluence-based society, I suppose that bribing them into anarchy might be a viable way to do things.
I am sure that House Rice's resources can assist you in your endeavor, Kargan.
It is appreciated.
Hello, gentlemen.
Hello.
Oh. Hona finally comes back from has finally returned from his KDF responsibilities. To quickly fill in, Lahona, there is a war council being held by Hud Oda. And your character has been busy for the last 10 days attending to KDF duties, like patrol duties with one of the house ships. So you've only just gotten back.
Got it. So what I missed last week, I did watch some of the Twitch episodes, so I know sort of what's going on.
The topic of today's war council. Is a raid against the Romulans.
Nice. Oh, I am so down on that. Raid against the Romulans.
Oda, are you planning on just taking one ship, or are you planning on taking multiple ships?
This will
You
be a
just
raid
want to get
in strength.
Manga stands ever ready.
I believe. Is the manga's sister ship complete yet?
Not yet. No, that's They only just finished They were focusing primarily on the Vorcha, and the Keldon class takes a bit more time because it's a unique build. It's taking less time now because they have that source of pyrosteel, but
Right.
not a new source, but a better refining facility.
So, based upon general, Klingon knowledge of that general type of Romulan, quote-unquote, scout base, what's the complement of such a base usually?
That would be...
Or, the general estimate. Hold on, I'm picking up a lot of background stuff from your mic.
Yeah, I'm going on mute. Let me know when you need me.
They should... Thankfully, not a ton of people for a base like that. About 20, 50 people. For a scout base, because largely they're dependent on the Navy to protect them and whatever ground forces that are managing the city.
Right. I doubt, however, that this is a standard scout base. So we will proceed on the assumption that we will be facing more opposition. Fortunately, however, the Maymok as a Vorcha is designed with extra troop carrying capacity over and above its normal crew complement. I believe it is time to take the Maymok into battle for the first time. We will take the Maymok, the Manga, and the Dokchanaka, as all three are equipped with the Rasa cloak, and the Dokchanaka, with her expanded shuttle bays, also can carry significant fighter support.
So you are sending the Maymok, and who else again? Sorry.
Sorry, Maymok, Manga, and Dokchanaka.
So the three primaries.
My only concern with that Oda is that all three of those ships are easily identifiable as being from House SupQit'aH. If we want to have any sort of plausible deniability, then perhaps we should take some less identifiable ships. But I will bow to your position as Zhou of the house.
It is a fine line that we walk. However, by taking these ships that are so closely associated with the house, we reinforce the fact that this is a raiding action. And with the evidence we have of Vetham's own raids against the activities of Rasa and SupQit'aH, it ensures that it stays out of the realm of an interstellar incident and in the realm of acceptable cross-border raiding and house business. The raid is not a raid by the Empire, but by House SupQit'aH, in response to Vetham's own actions against us. And if the Romulan Senate approaches the High Council about this, our own evidence of Vetham's involvement reinforces that case and contributes to Vetham's lowered stance within the Senate's eyes for causing such a cross-border incident. Not to mention if by that time the inhabitants of the planet are already up in arms and giving them a tough time, Vetham's stature and influence falls further and further. So I believe those ships serve several purposes.
You are wise, Joe. I am pleased to follow your lead.
As a matter of law, the goodness of that plan is that we have no need of requiring the High Council's approval for a raid, since we're not invading a planet or taking it in the name of the Empire. So there is that as well. Although we will wish to inform at some point, Klingon Command about in a battle report. Since in the Imperial hierarchy, you are a house, and actually that's part of it as well. Now that I think of it, is that since you are deploying only house resources rather than the imperially designated ships, we need not seek counsel of the higher command, the generals, when it comes to plans such as this. Since any excursion beyond the imperial borders usually requires the command to be informed. But they will want to have their intelligence updated should you all discover more intelligence to share with the generals and the council.
Which I believe we will. In any event, SupQuit'aH serves the Empire. Kargan.
I think he left already.
No, you're Kargan.
Yeah, I know.
Oh.
I think he left already in the room.
No, I think you were on comms on Quonos.
Oh yeah. Cool.
Kargan, take an opportunity when you can to advise the High Chancellor that the House will be conducting a small cross-border raid. Nothing official. Just because we are allied with House Martok, let us not take the High Chancellor by surprise with our actions. That way,
personally invite him.
That way, should it come up in council, he is not taken from the flank by it.
As I said, I will personally invite him to maybe pop by. Should he choose.
Excellent. I think that should cover us at the higher echelons of power.
I'll go to him this afternoon and then I'll make my way.
Tarkin, you will take command of the manga with its new I'm blanking on what it's called, with its new outfitting as a reconnaissance and intelligence vessel. Your abilities with the ship sensors will get the most out of its capabilities. Hona, you will command the Dokchanaka. I will command the Maymok and the squadron as a whole. GM, with the advanced cloaks, I know we can attack through them. Can we beam through them?
You can beam through regular cloak.
Okay.
Oops.
Here's the plan that I propose. We approach the planet under cloak. As we beam down caches of weapons to the populace, particularly those already in resistance against the Romulan command, so too do we beam down a ground force to take the supposed scout base and discover what is there. At which point, the raiding ships will make themselves known by destroying the administration building and whatever defenses that the starport has from orbit. And then engaging the Romulan vessels. Therefore, by the time the Romulan defenders realize that we are there, our plans are already in motion and our forces already in position. Always assuming, of course, that we are not detected early on, but I believe Ross's cloak will give us an advantage in that regard.
Understood. I look forward to creating carnage among them.
Tarkin, Keldar, the two of you are perhaps best suited of those of us here to discover exactly what this base is doing. If it is the center of Vetham's research, or some of his research, the two of you will be able to discover that better than the rest of us, and see to it that whatever intelligence there is to be gained is taken and then wiped from the base's records. I want you both on the assault force.
Understood, Oda. Shall I join Tarkin above the manga then?
Yes, do so.
Very well, Oda.
Hona, you and I will take care of the Romulan ships and guard against the approach of others. Ideally, we will be able to defeat the local forces quickly and then be in position to join our reinforced Tarkin and Keldar below.
Understood. This has become personal for me. And those Romulan dogs.
How so personal?
I nearly had one of them ships in the Expanse. Unfortunately, their singularity drives destabilized the entire area before I could capture the Banan ships.
One wonders if that was Vetham's work.
So too had I wondered. It seems convenient that the Romulans were allied with Ba'anan. But, as we all know, there are so many factions in the crab bucket that is the Romulan Praetorate and Senate.
And
There's
Calcat
never any telling. However, if Vetham did a lot... Hona, I'm getting a lot of background noise, thanks. However, if it is Vetham, perhaps we will discover that as well. And if it is Vetham, then some of his research may well involve our crystalline friends.
I know for a fact it will. Because
How
we came across a new variety of Calcat that we tried to liberate, but they destroyed before I could.
But these were on the ships of Ba'anan, correct?
Correct, but the showing of Romulan forces is far from coincidental.
Undoubtedly, Ba'anan is in alliance with some faction among the Romulans. As of yet, though, we have no way of knowing if it is Vetham or not. Vetham's feud with Rasa predates the appearance of the Calcat. Perhaps this mission will find such evidence, perhaps it will not. In any
I
event,
look forward to it.
GM, how long will it take us to go from Bamoth 2 to the target? Control Fasari Prime.
It will take 1 moment. Oops, sorry, book. It is, yes. Oh, there it is, right there. Can we officially rename the Romulan Senate to the Romulan Crabnate? You know that they are crabs now, thanks to Oda. Thanks, chat. It would take... I'm gonna double check those distances real quick. Right. So it'd be... Wait, no, I already can. Approximately 6 days, depending on how much evading of their anti-cloaking forces you might have to duck around and all that.
Fair enough. Sasir, with our contacts in the Orion's worlds, how quickly could we... No, never mind. I think the supplying of Klingon arms will send a message all of its own. I had for a moment thought about purchasing a supply of Orion weaponry, but they will know who we are. That level of deception is not required.
Besides which, Joe, there would be a considerable transit time from the clans all the way out to here.
Very well. Kargan, find out what you can about the resistance movement. We will need...
I shall.
We will need a supply of disruptor rifles, grenades, and light mortars if possible.
It shall be done. Leave it to me.
Uh-oh. Computer didn't like what I was doing.
And Oda will give orders for some of the high-quality SupQuit'aH ground troops to prepare for a raid and to board the Mamox troop quarters.
All right, so we have a few things to roll out here. I would say so, the author. I would say so to your question. So we have...
Also, the troops of House Andrus stand at the ready.
So we have... First we'll do with the resistance movement contacts Kargan was going to do. You wanted to get inroads with them. So we're going to call that... presence plus security or command. It's going to be opposed basically not so much by the resistance because they do want to talk to you or anybody who's willing to help them, but it's countering the Romulan intelligence service, the Tel Shiar, so they don't intercept your attempts to contact them. You will be assisted with your choice of... I think, as I recall, Tarkin was offering Rasa's wealth as a possibility here, so you could use wealth plus reputation of Rasa as an assist.
Sounds good. Let's do it.
So Rasa is wealth is 10, reputation is 3, so 13.
I need...
Just a question.
Yeah.
Cautious command lets me re-roll a command roll, right? Or a 1 die.
Yep, as long as you spend at least 1 momentum toward buying a die.
Before or after? Before, right?
Before, yes. Although, one thing I will point out, Oda, you could perform a rally at this time, before you guys sally forth.
Good call.
Like a good plan.
I point out that particular point. I was like, wait a minute, you may not have thought of that. It's like, I'll point that out. You might want to try it. I might even get threat. That's the other reason I pointed it out. Because I'm nice like that.
Yeah, sounds good.
Oh, that's awesome.
So, our plans are laid. Each of you knows what to do before we leave. Once again, we gather the forces of House SupQit'aH, House Rasa, and House Andrus to strike against our common enemies and to uphold the honor of our houses and the sectors over which we rule. Work hard, strike hard. Victory and success to us all.
Kapla!
What's the rally roll?
Presence command diff 0.
Yay.
I'll give you a threat for a 3rd die, try and earn some momentum. And a reroll for the inevitable complication. Inspiration is a focus.
Yes.
See, I told you there was going to be a complication.
That is 3 momentum generated and a gain of threat for me, unless you quash it or re-roll it.
I re-rolled it with bold, so that's 3.
Oh well, fudge me then.
3, 4, 5 successes. 5 momentum.
There you go.
I'm very thankful, and I'm gonna repay every momentum that I spend.
Not necessary, but good thought.
The Tel Shiar will always try a little bit harder than normal, so they'll throw 1 threat at it to buy an extra die.
I'd like to buy 2 dice.
Too bad all their best agents died in the Dominion War.
Don't make me remember.
Yeah, let's ally with the Obsidian Order. That's a great idea. Wrong.
Alright, so I'm buying 2 dice for a total number of dice of 4. I'm using command, so I should be able to.
So that is, for 4 dice, that is 3 momentum being spent, I presume.
Yes. Could I use Klingon politics as a focus?
Yep.
Cool.
This is very much a Klingon's way of helping out a planet in need. Hey, who wants guns? We'll pay you to take the guns.
Right. There, it's even better. It's like, here's a bunch of weapons. Have at it.
It's good.
Let's you and him fight.
Is that 15 any good for him? Gonna re-roll that 15 because they're dealing with an intelligence issue. So they get that re-roll. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Hey, Tarkin, would you mind rolling Rasa?
I'll roll for House Amdris.
So do we use the reputation as a focus?
Yes.
Wealth rep.
No, sorry.
Yeah, Hona, you can throw Amdris's money at it as well. Because you were there for the plan, so you know if they need extra money. There you go.
Cool.
Gain 1 momentum.
I mean, we have wealth and troops, so might as well use it.
All right.
So you're able to make some contact with the resistance movement, the ultra resistance movement, and you now have a channel that's not only do you have the quality 0 of knowing that they exist, but also you have the quality 1 that you actually can make contact with them, and you have a channel that you can pass on to the fleet.
I do that.
Their quality will not improve further than that until arms are shipped to them. But now you know where to. The fleet now is aware of where to ship it. And it's just a matter of getting it to them, and once they get it, they actually improve in quality.
Nice.
You guys are. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to. I'm gonna let the. Talk to Marta before I start procuring guns. I think I'm gonna do that. Hold on, background noise.
So. So you're gonna want to talk with him. Where's a good place to do that, I wonder?
I mean, I know where he lives. I could invite him over to my place.
Yes, assassins just assaulted my house. Why don't you come over for dinner?
On the plus side, it's been recently swept for bombs, so you know, there's that.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I could take the moment to since I'm staying at like Chibora's or Ghana's estate while my estate is being observed. Could probably throw a small dinner party. Sounds like a good thing. The representatives of Ghana and Chibora, as well as Martok and his +1, I suppose.
The Lady Sorella.
Ooh, good times.
Oops. Other way around.
Maybe maybe, I don't know, have a few fights, drink some blood wine, eat something nice, roasted tard, and make a case for providing the guns rather than me having to spend too much money on it. Also informing him of the plan.
To set this up, and to pass on this information under the guise of a rather friendly dinner, because part of this benefit as well is that it isn't. You're informing the High Chancellor, but it's over like a friendly dinner rather than in the High Council chamber. So I still can't spell influence. I don't know why.
Are you under the influence?
Of caffeine, yes, and various other stimulants. By unspecified energy drink company. I see no reason to make generic energy.
I could provide Kargan the recipe for a barbecue sauce that the Torg used to love.
Barbecue sauce secret ingredient is blood. No.
But what kind of blood? Because I have a lot of Andorian blood.
Gives it a nice blue tinge. Control.
The one that he discovered while Torg was part of Starfleet.
Control Command Difficulty 2, assisted by SupQuit'aH's influence and reputation. And because you have an existing alliance with Martok, this will be a higher quality meeting than normal, because it's going to be easier to get him to just show up, because he's like, oh, SupQuit'aH's representative is inviting me to dinner, sure.
And
I actually like those guys.
Yeah, and since I'm not at home and just a guest at like House Chubora or something like that, yeah, it's fine. It's a few representatives and the High Chancellor.
Do you have a favor with either Ghana or Chibora?
I'll make sure that I have one. We have a rapport and stuff like that.
Okay.
I think
The only thing we have with we have an advantage to decrease the cost of an alliance with House Ghana.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah, I knew you guys had something.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'll introduce them to the Chancellor. It's fine. I'd like to buy another die.
With momentum or threat?
Momentum, please. Klingon politics again?
Yep. Zoom out a little bit. There we go.
Cautious command. Reroll the 19.
Okay. House assist.
It's coming. There it goes. No help. Sorry.
It's alright.
Well, you got 3 successes, so you actually gained a momentum out of it anyway.
Cool.
So yeah, over a nice pleasant dinner between Ghana, Jabora, and Martok, with a notable presence of Sasir's Orion bodyguards. Martok kind of looks around, and in the middle of the festivities, he kind of looks over. So, Kargan, I see that you have increased your detachment.
They're cousins to my lore singer. They offered to help. They're formidable warriors. Without them, I'm guessing our friend the Joe would have been slain outright in the streets not too long ago.
To think that we still have such petty squabbles spill out into our homeworld.
Well, we're constantly working to limit those things, aren't we?
You mentioned earlier that your Joe is launching a raid.
Yes, only house resources though, so it should be of no concern of the KDF.
And what does he hope to gain from this, other than the glory of victory, of course?
He has a rivalry with the commander of that region, and feels that hitting him on the nose would suffice until he can kill himself.
Gunnar and Jabora both cheers to that. Everyone takes a slug of blood wine.
And it's always fun to make life miserable for Romulans. Don't you agree, Chancellor?
Yes. I've had to spend more time than I would like speaking with their representatives. The Federation is keen on fostering peace between us, although I am willing to see our quadrants stronger than ever in case anything like the Dominion or the Archon reaches its head over these stars. I do not trust the Romulans have their own house in order. Although we have united under my banner, the Romulans fight amongst themselves and jockey for power. It leads me to wonder if it's even worth my time negotiating with the current Senate if it's only going to be replaced by a new wave of senators.
Then let's put an end to the wave of senators.
Ha!
How about this? I'm willing to put forth to the Joe that you want us to expand. We will take the southern regions of Romulan space in your name and honor, and expand House SupQit'aH along with House Martok. How does that sound?
He waves his hand and he looks... He seems grim. Not angry, just kind of grim. Were this another age, I would gladly take you on that. He looks to Ghana, Chabora, and then back to you. But the Empire is in no position to be launching a war, beginning a war with the Romulans. Even a small seizure of their lands would give their senators reason enough to launch their entire fleet to ours. And although our Federation allies are keen to help us, they are keen to help us in defensive wars rather than offensive ones. We would be fighting the Romulans on our own. But that does not mean I do not want to benefit from their loss. In this raid, any intelligence that can be gained or material that can be taken from their facilities would be a great boon to the KDF. Especially if there's any intelligence that will sour the Federation's feelings on the Romulans. They'll make convincing them to war with them and with the Empire easier in the future. Gunn and Jabor kind of look at him like they're kind of surprised that he's not advocating rushing over there and taking stuff, but they're not going to say nothing to him. I mean, it's a dinner, but he is the Chancellor, and they're not going to say anything to him. But they kind of look to you to see how you feel about it. Because you are a representative of a great house, so this is kind of a great house person saying, hey, by the way, we could do a little warring. We could conquer a few stars, nothing major.
We wouldn't have to fight alone. This raid is being supported by the natives of the planet. The weapons supplied to them come directly from the Klingon Empire. More planets will reject the Romulan regime. And soon we will have multitudes of planets lining up to join the Empire all along the southern border. All I need is a little bit of material. If you wouldn't mind supplying it.
He kind of goes quiet, stares into his blood wine for a second, pondering. Ghana and Jabora kind of stare at him, the dinner kind of got a lot more serious for them all of a sudden, and they kind of eat their food, and they're looking between the two of you, because House Ghana and Jabora are influential houses, but these are two great houses who over dinner are discussing possible great things. So, this was not what they thought was going to happen today. But Martok doesn't seem at all fazed. It's probably the sort of conversation the Chancellor has on a daily basis in one form or another. Eventually he nods and looks back at you. If these planets were to liberate themselves and seek the better administration of the Klingon Empire, I would not be one to refuse them. And the Federation could not well oppose us helping the liberated. You will have some support from House Martok. But more than that, I cannot promise. The High Council is reluctant, is either eager to go to war with everyone or is loath to war with anything. It is a careful balancing act that must be maintained. But supplying my longtime ally is of my business and my house's business.
well then. I thank you for your support. I will bring the south of the Romulan Empire to you. Kapla.
Just so long as you don't bring the rest of the Romulan fleet with them. Ha! Kapla!
No promise.
And so that meeting goes rather well for you. So in effect, what that will do to you, do for you, since you're able to convince Martok around to help you support this, one, it's reaffirming that you know Martok's not going to disapprove of it. You're following orders in a sense. But also this will help with fostering the resistance movement, because now you have, not only are you using the wealth of Amdris and Rasa to fund this, Martok's helping fund this. So you're gonna have a lot of resources pouring toward the resistance movement. Although in Martok's case, you now have and he's an ally anyway, but you now have a continuing, I should mark that, you have a continuing advantage, or an asset as we would like to call it, of wealth support for liberation raids. Boop.
I'm gonna extend the invitation to Ghana and Chabora as well. If you have a ship that you would like to assist with, that would be much appreciated. There is honor and glory at my table. All you have to do is come get it.
They are willing to send some ships. What that will equate to is that if you get into a larger fleet battle, that means that the raiding team can spend momentum equal to the scale of ship they want to summon. And that will be assumed to be either Ghana or Chabora sending forces, either having them decloak and they were already there to begin with, or they jump into system.
Awesome.
So they'll try to help when they can, but they kind of have their own issues to deal with. But if they can, they'll totally join in. Because, this is a pretty cool thing that they got to be involved in. They're like, sure, we'll do that.
Is there anything else I should do for now?
For the rest of the table, is there anything else any other support you want from Kronos? You've gotten quite a bit of it as it is so far.
I think that was more than I was hoping for.
As I said, I would repay the momentum. You're getting favor instead.
No, that works. The standing advantages work.
Alright. I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick. Please continue without me.
Roger. New scene as we transfer forward. So we have Kargan's matters dealt with. Now it's a matter... I don't think there's anything else we need to do before you enter the system, because I think you've done all that's been done here. It's just a matter of you guys getting there and performing your raids, I imagine. So let's cut to the system in question. Let's get your ships in order. The Maymak, the Manga, and the Dakchanaka. Really should change that.
We have a cool little squadron. What are the gray and white rings?
That is a reason science roll you'll need to roll to
Okay,
get
fair.
that. So you're with this ship. Keldar and Tarkin are with... Oh no, you're with... I keep mixing you up. You're with the manga. And Hona is on the Dakchanaka. So, reason plus science, difficulty of... Oh, I presume you're all under cloak. Sorry.
Yes.
Yep.
I really should mark that. No, we just jump into the system. Shields up, weapons raised. Let's go to war. No.
Ninja Klingons.
I'll make this a little harder. Reason science difficulty apparently of 3, assisted by sensor science to determine what those gray bands are on sensors.
Okay, I guess Tarkin will do that. Keldar, do you want to roll for the manga, the sensor science?
Yes, I will do that.
I'll buy threat dice for additional dice and to use bold science.
Oh, yeah.
And I assume sensor operations would
Yes.
apply. So 4 successes.
So you generate a momentum.
Yeah, and because we're using sensors computers and I got technical expertise, we can reroll the manga as well.
Cool. One success.
Excellent.
So that is a class 4 asteroid field. It's incredibly dense. And basically anything that involves flying through it without direction from the planet's spaceport authority is a diff 4, complication 4. Because some of the asteroids, not only is it dense, but it seems the Romulans have mined the field a bit. So not just mines that explode, but also the fact that it's less mines that explode, but more sensor baffling tech. So it kind of blinds you as you fly in, unless you're going through the correct corridor. And there's a difficulty in weapons rolls if you're firing from any zone, either from the outside in or from the inside out. So this is kind of just because there's just so much in the way. So if you're firing through it or you're in these sectors, it's harder to shoot.
GM, can we assume secure communications between the ships, or do we need to roll to set that up?
You need to roll to set that up or spend 2 momentum.
Let's spend 2 momentum.
These devious Romulans have mined the asteroid field that surround the planet. It shall be difficult for us to traverse through it.
Can you subvert the mines in a given area, put them under our control, take down their and thereby bypass their sensor baffling capabilities, without, of course, alerting the Romulans to the fact that you've done so? That might provide us with a decisive advantage, both coming and going.
I'm sure Keldar and I can come up with something, Hot Order.
Daring plus science or engineering, difficulty 4. Assisted by computers plus science or engineering.
Cool.
Give this a try, Keldar.
Yep. I would like to potentially spend my determination.
No, not allowed. No, go ahead if you can figure out a value. I'm just giving you crap.
Can Tarkin assist as well as the Manka rolling?
Yep.
Could I use the second dictate? The repay every enemy who wrongs the house?
Yeah. Oh. I'll take that.
Okay. I will spend my determination toward the second dictate for a perfect opportunity. Which means I roll for veteran. Yes, I regain my determination.
Nice.
Okay, and then I will spend threat for another die, difficulty 4.
2 threat.
Yeah.
We also have 3 momentum on the board.
And can I... Let's see. So that's... Can I spend that 3 momentum
Yeah.
for the 5th die?
Yeah.
Okay, 5 dice.
Remember, you're just technically rolling 4.
Correct. 4 dice. Daring. Okay, let's see. Would communications systems be an applicable focus?
I'll take it, yeah.
Okay.
If comms plus science or engineering is better, you could use that as well for the ship.
It is.
On the ship, you mean?
On
Yeah.
the ship.
Right.
Computers is better. Computers is 11.
Okay, here's my roll.
Nice.
7 successes. Computers. Do you want to roll for the manga, Tarkin?
I'll just roll for mine. There you go. 8. Tarkin won't bother rolling. Keldar's got this.
So generate a significant amount of momentum. You're able to program some of the asteroids and kind of create your own hole to fly through.
I will open a communication channel. Well, I suppose the communication channel's already open. I will communicate with Oda, and I will say, Oda, this section of the mines have been subverted under our control.
Work. Let the raid commence. Kapla!
Kabla.
So the ships enter through into the inner system.
Yes.
Do you guys enter into orbit of the planet, or do you kind of spread out?
We've got things we want to do to the planet first, so we want, before we uncloak or do anything that lets us get detected, to beam down the weapons and the assault force. we know where to beam the weapons. As far as the base that we're assaulting, if their shields are down, hopefully when we start, we beam troops into good positions inside. If not, we have to deal with outside.
So which matter do you wish to attempt to deal with first?
Let's do, because fundamentally, in game, these will be happening simultaneously, right?
Yep, it's just a matter of which one falls through first, if you fail.
All right, let's do the weapons first, I guess.
Okay, so the weapons roll, there's no check to figure out where you need to beam, because Representative Kargan has already informed you where it needs to go. So that means this is a control plus engineering roll. Difficulty. Presumably this is base is 2. You're doing this from the transporter room, presumably. You're not beaming to a pad because they don't really have transporter pads of their own, so you just have to find, there's just some random field that you're beaming it into. And we'll say it's Halshiar make efforts difficult to beam things down, so we'll increase the difficulty by 1. And we'll leave it at that, I think. And we'll make the ship would use sensors plus engineering to beam. Actually, I should probably copy the assets over while I'm thinking about it.
This sounds like another roll for me.
Let's make that stand out a little better. There.
Oh, good. We've got some transporter engineer secondaries now.
Spend another threat for my bold engineering talent.
Okay.
And 2 momentum for die 4. And I have a focus in transporters, so I assume that applies.
Yep.
Successes. Does Tarkin, you want to roll for the manga?
Sure.
Just kind of set these guys over here because that is something we need to know about. That's not an eye, it should be sword as well.
4 successes.
I think that's 1 momentum gained. Yeah.
Yep. You now have an armed resistance movement on the planet with Klingon disruptors and armor. And actually, you have a bonus momentum floating out there because of the support from Artok.
For this roll?
For this roll, yep. So if there's any information you wish to obtain or any extra advantage you wish to create, you have 1 bonus momentum floating around.
Let's spend that float or the bonus momentum and one more to create an advantage that because of the information from Kargan and the Klingon intelligence in general, it wasn't just like we were dropping all the weapons in a field, a chunk of them, but some of them we were actually able to drop to certain locations like in the main city so that the fires get lit a little quicker.
But still, like, secretive, yeah.
Yeah, just like, okay, beam it into this warehouse, kind of thing. But that way, it's not like they're having to bring it in for everything in from the countryside. And I just saw you spend 4 threats, which is scary times.
You actually, as you start beaming in the extra, the more into the cities and in secret locations, that the Iltral don't mind. Like, they're like, yeah, you don't want to just beam it in the middle of like a town square and just give up the game, right? But you do get reports back from them through secure channels. It's not a direct line. It's like through a roundabout channel, and then Kargan eventually has to subspace it back to you. But in essence, there's reports that the planetary occupation forces aren't your normal troopers. They seem to be supplanted by Tal Shiar specialists.
Mm. Something's going on here.
So you spent 1 and 1 to try to the 1 bonus plus 1 more to beam them a little more efficient to better places.
Right, and so that they could come into play perhaps a little faster.
Okay. So you've increased the quality of the resistance movement since now the inner city. Now they don't have to worry about shipping it to the settlements. City's a strong word when there are only 40,000 of them on the planet.
Planetary occupation forces are quality 3.
And you guys have quality 2, not because you have super high quality forces, but because you have a lot of people. You have SupQit'aH and Amdris troops ready to go if you need, when you want them.
Well, and
quick question: are we dealing with the Tal Shiar, or are we fighting against the Tal Shiar?
we're raiding the planet. The Tal Shiar are apparently, instead of the normal kind of occupation forces you would expect, these appear to be like Tal Shiar forces, meaning something more than meets the eyes going on here, which we kind of suspected.
Okay, so I have no problem killing Tal Shiar.
Few people do.
Fair point.
I would not be surprised if the forces that attacked me in the expanse were Tal Shiar.
Well, and SupQuit'aH's infantry is quality 1 anyway, so.
Yeah. That's why I went from NSIP quality 0 to.
Yeah.
It's basically 2 quality 1s joining up to create a quality 2. They're not necessarily better equipped, but there's just a lot of them.
And let's beam down the forces to the planetary base.
So are you going to beam them like straight into the planet and get ready to like attacking right away, or are you beaming them kind of secretly into places so that way the Romans don't know they're there yet?
Oh no.
My thinking had been that the landing of the assault force would be kind of the real kickoff to the raid, but
okay.
But I'm wondering now if maybe I still think I'm going to keep that as the main kickoff to the raid in case that base has shields that they can raise. I'd like to go ahead and get the troops, because if the insurrection sparks, they're going to be way on the defensive. I'd like to hit them before that. It's like
let's
things
see.
on the ground. Go ahead.
So there are two. Well, there's at least 3 targets. Now that I think about it. But, whoopsie. That you're worried about. I'll name them here in a second. There is the spaceport, such as it is. It's a strong word for it, but you know, it counts. Then there is Planetary Administration building, or the governor's building. Well, the general's building. They don't have a civil. They have a civilian person there, but this is more of a Navy thing than it is a senator thing. And then Scout base, quote unquote. And I can tell you fairly easily, no real roll, this is just common sense. You know that most of the planetary forces would be worried about the base and the admin building, because the spaceport isn't high quality enough for them to care that much. If they lose it, they just set up, it's like, okay, we spend 1 threat, we set up new probes, and we make a new landing pad. Basically anywhere there's flat ground.
Yeah, the plan was once we land troops at the base that we obliterate the Planetary Administration building from orbit.
Okay, so the idea, your plan is to move your infantry here to the base. Resistance is just going to cause general mayhem.
And Tarkin and I are going to be part of that assault on the scout base in order to get information. Is that correct?
Yeah, and then depending on what happens in the sky with Oda and Hona may join you later.
Okay.
Okay.
Pure communications. Am I cutting it out on you guys because my Discord display is seeming like there's a delay or something?
No.
Okay, good.
Sounds fine to me.
If I'm pausing, it's me giving thought to what's going on, because this is probably the most complex plan for planetary.
Oh, that's doomed then.
Huh? That's Dune, yeah.
My light wasn't lighting up when I was talking, and if you guys were having trouble hearing me,
I was talking over you by accident, so I was like, oh, oops. So this will be a rather complex plan. Control command opposed basically by the general that's down there. Like if they have good enough defenses, they will set up. Assisted by might plus rep. Just thinking, there's another step here. I'm trying to think how to rule on it. So in essence, you have 2 roles here that are basically both control command opposed. One is deploying the infantry to the base, and the other is helping organize or foster the revolution. Now, I will say that Kargan, because you are their contact, you can have given them some strategic support before telling them what to expect and what you want them to do.
All right.
If you wanted to assist in that way.
Yes.
And I'll note that once shooting starts, you better believe ships are going to start showing up, because they're going to want to. Because there's one way to put down revolution: orbital bombardment.
Oh yeah.
They'll end it in a hurry, and the Romulans do not mind doing that if it looks like a losing war.
Oh no, but hopefully Eventually, we might get the jump on them once they come in, but we shall see.
Yep.
So, okay, just
What are we rolling?
is this basically some sort of advantage I'm creating with the control command, assuming I win?
It's a success. So you basically have the quality of the infantry, so you'll have 2 bonus momentum if you succeed. This is basically you trying to put them in a position where Tarkin and Keldar are largely just following after successful battles and not having to jump in and save the problem.
Okay, yeah. I'm looking for ways to use the command ship talent to see if it is actually as useless as I think it is, but
Let the Tashiar come. I'm itching for a battle.
Well, don't worry. Someone's going to be coming here. They're
Hard on them.
going to be mighty upset with what's going on here.
Alright.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yep, I see what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's sounds like it could be cool, so I'm just trying to figure out how to use it. Anyway, so Oda will spend his determination on I travel the river of blood. If you'll take that.
I'll take it. Yep, you are leading war.
Okay. And then let's see. I will give you. It's going to be opposed, so I need to go all in. 2 threat for die number 2/3.
2 threat.
And then 2 momentum and 1 more threat for die 4/5. And let me roll my veteran.
Spending 1 threat.
Nope, no joy today.
The fuck is he doing now?
Hona, your mic's live, man.
It's alright. About that.
Hona.
Boop.
Okay, so here's Oda's roll. I'll re-roll the 18. Four, 5, 6, 7.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4. There's no reason for me to spend more resources on that, so all I'm doing is limiting your your momentum gain.
Could I assist so that we have more momentum later?
And the house was assisting with a rep and might.
Yes. Kargan, you're gonna be doing a roll with the resistance movement here.
With the
resistance movement, he's just deploying the infantry.
Okay.
That's 3 momentum gained. No help from the house, but still.
So in the first stage of the beaming, there is the invasion. The infantry forces led by Tarkin and Keldar very rapidly rush into a rather fortified base. They put a good amount of effort, but thankfully due to the large number of troops and how close you guys are beamed in to the base, you're able to push in right on top of them. You have, and actually, what you have done is you get to roll damage. You're basically doing an attack with your infantry against the base, so you roll your command +2 in damage in challenge dice. But you get basically the infantry as a quality, so they basically are bonus momentum to spend into adding extra damage or re-rolling your dice pool, that sort of thing.
So is that Oda rolling?
Yes. He'll be able to roll this roll. If you have to keep fighting more, it'll have to be Tarkin and Keldar that does the next one, because Oda's going to get very busy all of a sudden in space.
Okay. So, what command am I rolling?
Your command +2 in challenge dice.
Oh, okay, challenge dice, okay. So 7. It's like a task. Ugh, that's That's no good. Can I spend a momentum to re-roll the zeros?
Yep, you have 1 bonus momentum from the amount of infantry
Okay.
you have, so.
Sure. So it's 3. There we go. I don't care if you're Tal Shiar, these are Klingon warriors.
So Tarkin and Keldar, you and your troops are able to very rapidly get in there with some direction from the Maymok. Because the Maymok's basically from its command role, it's helping with like there's troops here, there's troops there. This is the layout of the planet of the base, and it's just speed is the issue, and you're trying to and you guys are actually able to overrun the base. So next time we check in with you, we'll be checking in with you, actually examining the base for information.
Nice.
Next up, we'll deal with the resistance movement. Kargan, you have a similar problem in that you have given strategic support to the resistance to fight the occupation forces. Because you guys are intending to just blow up the admin building, so it's largely defeating the troops that are there rather than seizing anything there, I think is the plan, yes?
Yeah.
So, this is control plus command opposed. Assisted by might plus rep.
And this is my control command then.
Yes.
And the house is might plus rep.
Yes. They're going to spend quite a bit of the general's going to spend quite a bit of resources. If he loses the occupation forces, he is a dead man. So he does not want to lose this fight. So he will spend, due to his Talshar connections, he's actually a little more determined than your average officer. So he only spends 2 threat to activate his value of the ends justify the means. So this isn't just shootouts in the streets. This is people's homes being blown up and people get suddenly keeling over from poison and stuff. Like he's going brutal, very brutal tactics against them. Spend 2 more threat for additional die, and 1, 2, 3 for the last die. Throwing everything he has at this.
Determination makes for what? Before or after a roll? Could you explain that to me?
If you spend before the roll, you can buy basically 2 hits. If you spend it after the roll, it lets you re-roll the dice that you rolled.
All right. So I'm gonna add another die.
With momentum or threat.
Momentum, please.
Okay.
I'm AFK. I'll get it when I get back.
Okay, so that's one momentum.
I am also putting down a new value that I will word better later, but this is for combat, relating to his time in the KDF before becoming a representative.
Okay. That means this will cost you a total of 2 momentum, because the first die is always bought when you use determination to buy 2 hits. It's basically making the 3rd die automatically set to 1. So you're basically buying the 4th dice.
And Kargan, if I could make a suggestion, go ahead and spend a momentum and 2 more threat for die 4/5, because the general's throwing everything at you, so you must throw everything at him.
Let's do it. 4 dice then.
Keep in mind, I still have reinforcements aboard the Dakshanaka from House Amdris.
Just to clarify, I thought you sent those guys to help with the base attack.
Yeah, we beamed down the troops.
Oh, you beamed everybody down?
Yeah, that's why we got the quality 2 bonus for the infantry.
Never mind.
Yeah.
I'm just ready to take out some Romulans.
Comp number 20 as usual, right?
Yes.
Nice.
You get assist from your house as well. To see if
What's
anything.
the house assisting with?
Might reputation. Ah, shoot, that does not help him.
Okay, there's 2 from the house.
Well,
That's 9 total.
another 2 threat. Activating another value. Everything I do for Romulus. So he's gonna re-roll 2 of his dice.
I was so sure you were going to say love. I'm so disappointed.
Ah, that's better. 1, 2, 3, 4. Plus 2, so 6 hits total. To your 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep.
Actually, 9.
9?
He actually.
Oh,
got
you're right,
5
you're right.
Up top, yeah.
So that's 3 momentum generated. Kargan, roll your command plus 2 in challenge dice.
Let's go.
Geesh. I'm gonna regret this. So spending 2 threat, the resistance movement has caused, despite the brutal tactics of the Tal Shiar agents that are there, are able to fight evenly with them. And it seems that the occupation forces have fought to a retreat back to the administration building. They're not destroyed, but they have basically taken 5 stress. They can't do that again. They basically avoided the injury, but they are bad. They are being pushed back by the resistance.
GM, when Romulan ships come, because they're going to come, will we be doing fleet engagement rules, or will we be doing traditional starship combat?
Traditional ship combat. There's not that many ships that are going to be
Okay.
right away present. If it gets to a high enough number of ships, I'll shift the fleet combat because they'll be
Cool.
So. And actually, funny you should mention that. As various Romulan ships begin to decloak. One right in orbit with you, and one to Derridex class on the other side of the star, and one at a nearby planetoid. Because they didn't know where you are, the ships get to act. So Oda and Hona, is there anything you wish to do now that you've seen these ships decloak and power on their weapons and shields?
I am going to take the Dock Chinaka to tactical readiness and start advancing towards the lead ship.
Oda is going to try to. I would like to roll to create an advantage that our squadron, after doing all our beaming, moved into a superior tactical orbit over the planet, so that we're in we have an advantage over this ship that appeared in orbit.
Sure.
And if I succeed, the Maymok's talent lets me give that to all 3 ships, to all the ships in support.
Very crowded. Because you're all in the same zone, so you're right on top of each other. Okay. So, I imagine you want Oda's thing to fire first, and then spend to keep the initiative to Hona to start attacking.
Yeah.
So that would be,
Leave that here, Zoe.
control or insight plus command difficulty of 2 to set up that advantage.
Okay, so it looks
Oh wait, the manga's still cloaked. What am I doing?
my insight's a little better, so... No, that's not. So let's do 3 dice, I'll give you a threat.
Okay.
For bold. Wrong task roller. Strategy tactics for a focus.
Yep.
I will re-roll the 19. Okay. So 1 momentum gained.
No, you don't get to me no. Oh.
And
All right.
then we will spend that one plus another to keep the initiative.
All right, so there is an existing advantage that any ship that's in orbit with you guys is gonna have issues because you have you guys are well positioned around the planet in such a way that it's actually really hard to fight you right there in that zone. Keeping the initiative goes to Hona. Hona, your ship decloaks, and that is, I believe it's a minor just to decloak. It's an action to cloak, a minor to decloak. So a minor action, you decloak. You'll want to spend another minor to turn on your shields and weapons. So you'll need to spend either a momentum or threat. Which
Spin the threat.
threat? Okay.
We have momentum if you want.
I'll go with threat. All my stuff is bold anyways, so.
Well, this is just to buy an extra minor action.
Yeah, I'll go with the momentum one to get the action. Don't worry, Jam. I'll give you plenty of.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got 1 right now, so starve him if you can.
So you have one ship you have advantage over that's over in orbit of the same planet as you. That's basically in close range. You're basically dogfighting with each other in the planet. At medium range, there is another Romulan ship. The lead ship that you're worried about is actually medium, long, extreme 1. So it's basically on the other side of the star system. You'd have to leave the planet to get to get a better position on him.
I'm not gonna worry about the warbird right now. I'm gonna take a guy that's right here with us. I think he's within torpedo range.
If anything, he's too close. A torpedo shot would be diff, not medium, but close. It's a diff 5 shot for torpedoes.
Yeah, but he's in perfect range for disruptor cannons.
Or phaser banks.
Banks are medium.
Yeah, disruptor cannons are...
Okay, let's go with disruptor cannons then.
Oh, sorry, that'd be diff 4 for torpedoes because you have advantage. But if you use cannons, it's diff 1 because you have the advantage on him. So it'd be...
I'll just use the cannons.
And control plus security, difficulty 1, assisted by weapons, plus security, sorry.
I'm gonna buy dice just so we can possibly get some momentum. think I'm just gonna buy one extra die.
Okay, with threat, I presume.
Yep.
I actually have to look up NPC ship rules. I haven't had a proper just ship-to-ship fight for a while. It's been nothing
So
but
it's like tail number 1.
yeah.
Yeah, with me at the controls, at the weapon controls of the Dr. Martha.
Bang.
Against the manga.
Yep.
I remember I dealt some pretty nasty damage.
15 is the target number. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 hits plus the ship.
You want me to get the ship, Hona, or you got it?
Yeah, what do I roll for the ship?
Weapons security. 1 die.
Okay, I'll roll. Boom. Let's see, what we eat.
That'll do. That's 5 on a diff 1, which is 4 momentum. Yeah.
And I've got my companion animal here. There's no computer, buddy.
Boop. Alright, so gain some momentum. Roll damage for your cannons, please.
Yeah, that is what, 10 challenge dice.
Yes.
Do you want to put any power into it for extra damage?
You have to throw that in before you fire.
Oh yeah, you're true.
Well, I haven't fired yet, so.
No, you already rolled to shoot, so you have to spend the power. Because if you miss the shot, you lose the power anyway.
True. Alright, rolling damage. Nice. Thanks, husband.
Oh.
5 whiffs.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
There's just 1.
That's why I counted the 5s as 2.
Okay. You want to re-roll the whiffs?
Which one? The 4?
The 3s and the 4s are zeros.
1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I can reroll 5 of those.
There's the momentum.
Okay, on top of my camera.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 17 raw. Well, this scout ship I think is pretty screwed. These are tiny little things. They're scale 2, so I think it's dead.
Why did I come that up?
You thought?
Command.
After everybody else. I drove the cab up to the gate. We're not on this picture.
Somewhere there's Romulan chips in my. I had the page. I was looking right at it. There it is. That's its shield. That's what I thought. So you did at least -2 resistance.
Ah, now we know its scale.
So 15. Let's see. 4 of that's eaten by the shields. So 2 breaches. And yeah, that ship, I believe, has enough breaches equal to its scale, so that ship is disabled.
Nice.
And it's on, and basically it's kind of drifting there in orbit in a slow, decaying orbit. Like it will crash into the planet eventually because they're disabled, unless their engineers quickly repair the engines enough that they don't just plummet to their death. That's their problem, not yours. I presume the turn goes back to them, unless you're swift tasking to fire again at the other ship.
We can do that.
I'll note that if you that it would be with your banks, that'd be a diff 3 shot. If you want to attempt it.
No,
Diff 4 if it's with the cannons or the torpedoes.
never mind. I'll let it go for now.
Okay.
I would make these planetary forces try to save the friggin' scout base, but they've been tied up by the resistance movement, so I can't do anything. I could fight back there. But I have a Dederadex, and it has torpedoes, and that wins fights very quickly. So...
Yeah, the thing is gotta get by the Danchanaka, the manga.
It's gonna
and
move
Vorcha.
here.
So I don't think that thing's gonna very much win.
It's going to keep its initiative, so it's using up 2 of its actions. And it's going to fire its torpedoes at the Danchanaka. It's the only target it has. It's a diff 3 shot. I can't buy any more dice, so good luck, ship.
And a complication.
They fire their torpedoes. Unfortunately, someone over there in their haste screwed up and made them fire short in an attempt to try to trick you into to hit you more efficiently. But unfortunately, all they've done is create a complication that firing through this zone is at increased difficulty for either side, because they basically just created this big roaring plasma fire that's going to be there for at least a turn. Which, yeah, that wasn't smart of them. That's their turn for now. Tarkin, Keldar, or Kargan can start performing actions, as you are getting reports that the battle is raging.
Off mic.
So, have we joined the forces here, or are we still in the manga?
I think both of you were sent down with the infantry to the scout base.
Okay, it's just that the infantry had gone ahead and initiated the assault, is that right?
Yes, I believe that's correct, but I think that we're like right behind them.
Yeah, you're basically the officers that are following after them, so you didn't have to personally get involved in the fighting because they basically overwhelmed the base before you guys really had to do anything. So you now have control of the base right now.
So,
Go ahead.
what is it to infiltrate the computer system and retrieve the information that we're looking for?
It wouldn't be opposed because you've taken the base. It's a base difficulty. I have no great reason to make it higher than diff 3. Daring plus science or engineering, difficulty 3.
All right. I guess Tarkin will take this role.
Well, my daring plus engineering is 17. Is your daring plus science?
Yeah, you go.
Okay. And are you going to roll to assist me?
Yeah, I'll assist.
Okay. I'll give you a threat for the bold engineering. Oh, actually, let me look. Maybe I'll spend my determination on this. Could I spend my determination toward... I created a new value, support my Zhou as his heir?
Yeah, you are fighting with SupQuit'aH forces that he ordered down there. So yeah, I take that.
Okay, I'll spend my determination toward that value for the perfect opportunity. Roll again for veteran. Did it roll? Okay.
Roll 20's been lagging on me. You got it again. You're on a roll.
Yay!
Rigged.
Hey, you're the one who decided to use roll 20. Okay, so then I guess it's a threat and a momentum for die 3.
Yeah.
And I'll just go with that because that should be fine. Can I use a focus of sector governance for this?
Say again?
Sector governance. Focus for this role.
I'm gonna have to say no.
Okay, then I don't believe I have a focus that applies. Four, 5, 6 successes.
Nice.
So gain 3 momentum.
And Tarkin, you want to roll your assist?
It's 1 float,
There you go. 1 success. Another one.
2 float.
You could spend that toward an advantage or obtain information regarding the intelligence, or possibly keep the initiative to Kargan so you can get the resistance movement guys pushing some more. I will tell you so far before you make that call. What you pull from the scout base computer is that apparently this was a base that was being used to transport black boxes, Tal Shiar designation K25. But from the description of the boxes, you've seen those boxes before. They're not basically these are very likely either Cowkit or something that's contained in a similar container. But that type of pyrosteel container there's not much else you contain in those. You only know of one thing that's currently contained that way.
And this base was transshipping that or making them?
This was a place that was where stuff was dropped off and then it was picked up by a ship and shipped deeper into the Empire.
Can we tell where? Or even the source?
Those are 2 different questions. For 2 momentum, I'll answer both.
You got 2 float.
Yeah. Kaldar, what do you think? Any other questions that we may want to ask?
No, I think that those sound like good questions to be asked.
Okay. We'll use those 2.
I gotta figure out exactly where they're going to. I'm gonna double check that. Oops. Coming from Ranger Station, going to Alpha Volanus.
You said that there were Tal Shiar ships, or just had Tal Shiar designation?
Tal Shiar
where?
designation.
That planet located?
Kaldar, why do you think they would have come from Narendra Station. Isn't that a Federation facility?
It is a Federation facility with a joint effort with the Empire.
We have a contact there. Haha.
We do. And he owes me some favors.
Perhaps we should inquire after we finish this mission.
I think that is a good idea, Tarkin.
It seems we have the information that we have come for.
Shall we withdraw our troops, Commander?
Yes, let's leave this place. Perhaps we can rig something to cause more chaos before we go. Destroy the terminals here.
So as Tarkin and Keldar plan their next move, do you wish to keep the initiative, or will the turn go to the Romulan forces?
We've all had our turns, haven't we?
Kargan's the only one who hasn't gone yet in this actual battle.
I'd like to go.
Okay, we'll
So-
spend 2 momentum to keep the initiative. Oh wait, we've already kept the initiative this round, so this would actually.
Oh no, they can. You've acted at least. Sorry,
Oh, right. It's
the enemy's
not
acted at least once.
Yeah. Okay. I always get confused with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So the resistance movement.
Yes, they are trying. They push the occupation forces to the administration building, but they haven't won yet. So you could try to push them some more if you want.
Yeah. Or we could set the building on fire.
Try to destroy the building itself. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So. Daring plus
While
com.
the Klingon might prefer a blade, it is cheaper to build a building than to replace people.
Daring plus command opposed. Assisted by the House might plus rep.
All right.
I'll spend at least.
Go for it.
I'm buying 1 die.
I'm buying 2 dice with threat, please.
So. Yeah, I won't spend any more threat.
Intimidation as a focus.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Nice.
Ooh. Plus your house assist.
Anyone feeling up to it?
Sure. What's the house assisting with? Might and rep.
Might
Okay.
rep.
So 1 die. 15. There we go.
Cool beans.
That's 4 hits. All he's losing is the building. It's not worth spending for determination. So yeah, he'll let the building go.
How much momentum did we gain there?
He only got 1 hit, so you get 3 momentum.
1 float.
Could we spend that float for something like setting up the advantage that he's losing something actually important in the building?
Sure, for one moment, for that bonus, and for 2 momentum, basically, you can have it that he's lost something in that really valuable to him in that building. Like,
Is that a total of 3 momentum?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's 1 float, and I'll give you 2 more for a total of 3.
Oh, it's only 2 momentum.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 1 float and 1 from the pool. Gotcha. Okay.
Oh, wait. Sorry. You don't have to spend any of your momentum, because the resistance is such high quality, you have 3 bonus momentum floating around anyway. So 2 of that's being spent to create the advantage. You have 1 float from your actual success, plus the 1 float from the resistance movement.
All right. Somehow I drew 11 momentum. Let me take care of that.
Actually, a suggestion from the removement is they would like to basically occupy the city.
Go for it.
Yeah.
I'm all for it.
So, well, the administration building's been destroyed. They now hold the few settlements that are there. So now the occupation forces are kind of out in the countryside trying to figure out what they're going to do. Volanis, I believe they're Keldar. I'd have to double check, but... And I will, because I can. Oh. Volantis is the correct one. Alright, the turn goes to them. Okay, occupation forces. This is bad. Even if they go to the spaceport to escape, there's at least 1 starship up there that's willing to blow them out, blow them up. So the Daredix will go. It has to move because it doesn't want to shoot through that cloud it just created for itself like a champion. Oops. It actually has to roll because it's already moved this round. So I actually have to roll for that. Spending 1 threat. I need to get a diff 1. I got some threat out of it. Not a ton of threat, but I got 2 threat. Which I'm going to spend to keep, because you're probably going to shoot me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reinforce, I'm going to start modulating my shields. Spend a threat. Oops. Psh. Just 1 more. And then, oh great. Oh no, I don't even know why I rolled that last one, because they whiffed on the roll. So, they try to modulate their shields. In their haste, they've actually reduced their shields. By accident. So, yeah, this is the Romulan Navy at its best, everybody. God almighty.
Okay.
I'm mildly upset about this. Stupid to dare to
You're
X.
making my job way too easy.
Oda's gonna move the Maymok into knife range. Then I'll spend to keep. And I'll spend another one for an extra minor.
Oh, you mean you're spending to Swift?
Oh, right. Spinning to Swift. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Before you get to act though, they still have 1 more turn because they're scale 5.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what they're gonna do. They're gonna restore shields. Hopefully, don't screw it up.
Yeah, you're making it too easy on us.
The dice just hate me right now. Damn it all to hell and back.
Did they just destroy their own shield system?
No, thankfully. Hold on. They at
They
least.
didn't restore it.
Damn it.
They're still operating under the weakness they modulated it into.
They just created more weakness in the bloody shields. Go ahead, Maymok. These guys are idiots.
Are you? Is the Diedrich's now within torpedo range?
It's it's an advanced difficulty. Torpedoes are always long. Actually, instead of moving into knife range and doing all that, I'm just going to use disruptor banks from here.
Are you gonna fire from cloak or are you gonna decloak?
Can I? Don't know if there's any particular advantage of firing from cloak at this point, except... yeah, I'll decloak, spend the extra minor to raise shields, and then pour 2 power into the phaser banks. I mean, sorry, the disruptor banks.
Okay. And you're swifting. Oh, you're not swifting. You're just shooting. So yeah, it's just if
Yeah,
two.
they're in medium range.
Oh God, I'm okay. Just dropping my phone.
What happened?
Just knocked my phone to the floor. I'm okay.
Okay. It's gonna be. Let's give you a threat for bold
I
security.
don't know who took that out. I only took
A threat, you say?
out.
Yes. And 3 dice. Strategy tactics. Come on, roll 20, catch up. Oof. Let's re-roll the 19.
Freaking.
There we go, 3 successes. That's 1 momentum.
Plus the ship's weapon security.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And the Maymok's weapon security, I think is pretty good. Yep. Ooh. Not that good, though. We're going to just quash that. Maymok is quality... Well, quality 4, so is there any bonus momentum, or does it have to succeed to get the bonus momentum?
For that, I'll use that asset when it's when you're deploying it on its own.
Okay, right, okay. So I'll spend 2 momentum to quash. Obviously, you need to calibrate the weapon systems. All right.
Roll your damage.
All right. I think that is 10 plus 2 power for 12.
That should be.
And it's vicious 1.
Oh. 13, 14, 15.
I'll go ahead and... Okay, does the quality come into effect now? Or do I just... Am I still spending our momentum pool?
It would come in now, yeah.
Okay.
Actually, yeah, it should come into this, yeah. I've been doing that for the other stuff, yeah. It should.
Okay, so I'll re-roll 3 with one of those bonus momentum.
Boop. Boop.
Got 1 more point.
So its shields are down. And it suffered a breach due to the taking at least 5 after. Like, I don't even have to worry about it. Actually, it has resistance. It might not take 2. Hold on. I'm rushing here. The Daradexes are a little more beefier than that. Wrong book. There we go. How much damage did you roll again?
Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 total.
-6 puts it down to 10. That's still enough to bring down the shields. Yep. So never mind. That's still enough. So it takes 2 breaches from losing shields and taking at least 5 damage, meaning that it is a damaged ship, I believe. No, it's just impacted, so it basically loses a turn this round because it's a big ship.
Okay.
But they basically
Now-
use a turn just because people are getting injured and people are being thrown around from the blast and stuff.
At this point, with the shields down, is when I'd say we swift, or no, keep the initiative, and then somebody hits it with torpedoes. Now the manga has quantums, but with the shields down, it's a full spread of torpedoes will mess it up, even if they're just regular torpedoes. I did make a command secondary character for the manga if we want to use the manga. Except I forgot. I did not put in his scores because I'm a dumbass. Well, I didn't put his attributes. I don't know what they were. There you go. So, Hona, do you want to use the Dakchanaka to mess him up with torpedoes, or should we? I mean, you'll have a better roll to hit it than the
Oh,
okay.
Yep. Sorry, I did.
So
There you go.
I'll spend to keep and then turn it over to Hona on the Dakchanaka.
I'm gonna swing the Dakchanaka around to bring her right within range and unleash my fury.
Are you firing a single torpedo or are you firing a full spread?
Firing a volley.
Okay,
Full
so
spread, maximum yield.
3 threat to me. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that threat in a second, but you're looking at a diff 4 shot.
That's a diff 4.
They're at medium range, and even if you spend a turn moving back a bit to long, you'd have to swift task to shoot, and it'd be diff 4 anyway. If you're going to shoot, you might as well shoot from there.
I am gonna buy, since it's diff 4, I am gonna buy 3 dice.
Threat or momentum?
Do use what momentum we have, and then the rest I'll cover with threat.
Wait, are you buying up to the full 5 dice, or are you just buying 3 dice? Or are you just buying a
Buying
third
up,
die?
buying up to the 5.
Okay.
So I get 4 threat, you spend your 2 momentum.
Okay.
And plus the ship. 2, 3, 4, 5.
I gotta quash that.
Do you have a reroll?
I do. I can either do security, command, or science. Bold.
1 second.
Shooting should be security.
It's security, yeah.
So
Yep.
I'll use bold security to reroll that 20. So I'm gonna be rolling 2 d20s. 1 for the ship and 1 for the critical.
Yeah, I get you.
There we go.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you did 4, so you generate 3 momentum. Now roll 7 challenge dice. Oh, sorry. 8 challenge dice.
Three and 3s and 4s are 0.
Yeah, 3 and
Yep.
4s are whiffs.
2, 3, 4. I'm gonna reroll those 4.
Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 minus resistance, which is still
Now, is that just for their armor plating, or since
Yep.
shields are already gone?
Yeah, they're going to be taking 1 breach anyway because their shields are down. But I'm checking to see if they take an additional breach due to their armor being penetrated.
God, it's been so long since I've played regular ship combat. I've forgotten how torpedoes work.
So far that's 4 stress. If you spend 1 more momentum, that will put it to 5 and cause an additional breach.
We'll spend it.
Yeah. So that's 3 breaches. Oh, sorry, no. I got that wrong. So 1 breach because they took any damage at all with no shields, past their resistance. Another breach because they've taken at least 5. There's at least 5 stress being done. It's high yield, so another breach happens because a breach at all happened. You fired a salvo, so that's spread. So 3 breaches so far. These guys might blow up outright. That's why I'm checking this for. High yield.
Don't forget
Oh,
the
spread.
2 that I did previously.
Spread. If 1 or more effects are rolled, the attacker inflicts 1 additional hit to a random system, which is half damage of the initial hit. Plus what? Round up, plus 1 for every effect after that. So 10 halved is 11 halved is almost 6. So round up. And then plus the number of effects, which is 1, 2, 3. So 13 minus 6. We have the same problem all over again. So that's another 3 breaches.
Yeah, we saw the manga in the wings to do an attack with.
They're at 5 breaches now total, I think. Oh, never mind.
It's gone.
6 breaches plus the one they already had. They're gone. There's a brief explosion, and then the singularity drive collapses the debris very quickly.
Told you I'm bringing extreme prejudice against the Romulan Tashiar.
Man, I cannot find the full torpedo rolls in the Klingon book. That's annoying me. Where's the salvo?
It goes to the Klingons. To the Romulans. Okay, boys, this is bad. You lost your Dederadex. You have like a scout ship. There are 2 ships out there. 2 threat, spending toward the determination, the ends justify the means. As the planetary occupation forces flee into the countryside, and then sensors detect a large explosion, and the forces are destroyed. Keep the initiative.
Who was destroyed?
The ground forces of the Romulans.
Oh.
They blew themselves up somehow.
Oh, that's right, Romulans.
This ship is going to warp. Actually, he's going to cloak. That's smarter. That way, he's harder to chase. So, I have to make this cloak roll with this crappy ship. So, because I don't trust these guys to do their job, I'm going to spend 3 threat. You're going to make this roll. That's an order, damn it. All 20s. Watch. Okay, good. Ruby. Plus the ship helps. Watch be a 20. Ah, it's 17. Uh-oh. Oh, no. Oh, no.
What's wrong?
Cloaks, I think, need difficulty 3 to work. I don't think I made it. I'm going to make sure I'm right so I'm not just screwing the NPCs because they're NPCs.
Let the NPCs suffer a bit.
They already are.
Yeah.
They're already having a bad day. Oh, good. It's diff 2. They just made it. So, that one ship cloaks. And so, combat comes to a close as there are no hostile forces opposing you in this system.
Turn the watch. Don't clean my son if it's Zoe's if you don't drive.
Hot mic, Kona.
Oh, no.
Did you not hear me?
Boop. So, you are victorious as the rebel forces report that they have the cities. Tarkin and Keldar, you are planning to destroy the scout base.
Make sure you got everything that might be
Yeah.
there. See if there are any Calcets still there.
Can I, so we've gotten rid of the Romulans. Is it worth putting any kind of virus through the computers or something to sabotage that? Or maybe, yeah, there's nothing else linked to this base, is there?
Not really. There's some like material there, like armaments and armor and stuff.
Maybe we can see what will be worth value for us to retrieve from this base, since there's no other forces.
Insight security difficulty 2 to quickly assess if there's anything worth thieving from the base.
I might use a determination for nothing will get past me. Can I use that as a value?
Sure.
So that's the 2 already, and I'll just roll my insight security.
Nothing gets past Keldar. He is too fast. He would catch it.
Morgan?
It's Tarkin, but.
Sorry.
Would sensor operations be used as a focus here?
I'll take it, yeah.
Appropriate.
As you're taking out your scanner and you're helping scan around looking for anything useful.
Okay. Alright. So that's 4 successes altogether. And I'll just roll 4. See whether I get my determination back. No. Okay. That's it.
Oh, Oda, new scene since the battle's over. That said, you do get it. You do find some, you do find some material that you can take back with you. Some Romulan disruptors, some armor and stuff that can help with, arming your troops a little better, or for doing intelligence work in Romulan space, because you can use their weapons, because their disruptors work slightly differently than yours. So what do you guys do?
Well, Keldar, should we get these weapons and then... we didn't see any black boxes though. From that scan there wasn't any left, it was just transit's port.
Yep.
Right.
And actually, because of your free science question, you do know that there was a shipment that was going to get here, but it wasn't due to get here for another month.
Keldar, let's rig this base to explode. I'm sure you're a good hand at that.
Yes, Commander, I will see what I can do.
I can't. Daring plus security, difficulty 2, to destroy the scout base. Basically rigging it to be brought down. As you're like setting explosives and stuff to bring down the building.
Can I use maintenance as a focus? Like reverse maintenance?
I'd call, actually, if you're doing that way, if you're sabotaging the building, like you're trying to get it to destroy itself, I will call that daring engineering, and you could use that focus.
Okay, cool. That's better for me. I'll give you 1 threat for my bold engineering. Standard complication?
Yep.
Okay, I'll re-roll that 18.
You still have your determination, don't you?
I do, yeah.
Probably
but-
re-roll.
I mean, I've already succeeded. so just hoping.
Ah,
There,
okay.
4 successes. 2 momentum.
Yep. And the scout base destabilizes its EPS system and basically torches itself in plasma fire. A burning green ball of flame sitting in amongst some mountains.
Shortly after the last Romulan scout had cloaked, Oda wanted to send an open broadcast for it to pick up, hopefully.
Go ahead.
Fleeing Romulan vessel, you may tell your praetor, your senate, and the Vetham family that their machinations in the business and their secret war against House SupQit'aH and House Rasa has brought this upon you. Remember well, we repay every enemy of our house in full. Cut it out.
Presence plus command, difficulty opposed. Basically, this is impact. This is basically a political attack against Vetham, because you're opposing him explaining this probably the next morning, going, "Hey, so this wasn't my fault. It was totally his." But you're presenting it, your argument, as a no. I'm shooting straight.
Right. Okay. So let's give you a threat for the 3rd die and bold command, and then I'll give you. There's. 4th die, and then I'll give you 1 more threat, and the other 2 momentum for die 5.
He is. Is there a way I can buy determination? Because he doesn't have that cool thing the other guy has. You're in trouble, buddy. You do not want to get in trouble for this. You just lost very important Romulan assets and a bloody planet. I'm in the wrong book. Feel free to do your roll. I have to figure out what I'm doing over here.
Come on, roll 20. Ooh. That's 7.
Oh, no. Well, hopefully I figure out a determination for you, buddy, because this has gone way worse for you than I thought it was going to. Massively worse for you.
I could always re-roll the 17 for shits and giggles. Then that's when the 20 comes up.
That's what I'm hoping for. Go ahead.
I'll see what he does first.
That's true. You get to see what he does first before you have to worry about re-rolling and crap. All that you're not a politician, you're a commander. That's why you don't. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so I'm just gonna buy dice and hope for the best. He buys 2 dice. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 hits. You're 2 up on him. Plus your assist.
Oh yeah, it's influence and rep, so that's.
If he had a determination, he might have tied, but man, that would have been. I couldn't think of a good reason for his value to kick in. Uh-oh. So 3 momentum gained. Royal command plus 2 in stress. Challenge dice.
I'll re-roll the whiffs if I can.
You totally can, yeah. Elsewhere in the Romulan Empire, a short flash forward here, a Romulan warbird commander is demanded to explain his losses in the Iltral Fisari system. He tries his best to give excuses to the Senate, to the Continuing Committee about the loss and how it was unavoidable and this, that, and the other. Then they play the reports of your broadcast. He tries to spin it as that's Sugita has always had it in for me. They're enemies of the Empire. And then they point out, rightfully, actually, Commander, one thing you're forgetting, and as a commander, you should know this. So you may wish to reread your modern history lessons. Sugita was fighting the Dominion alongside us. They haven't shot at us since before the Dominion War. So as far as the Continuing Committee is concerned, the only reason the Sugita is taking shots at the Romulan Empire is because of him. Well, who could prove that? Well, there's a certain Tal Shiar file that seems to be indicating that he screwed up. The commander then mutters under his breath, and he is subject to a rather embarrassing punishment, which is not privy to the general public, but this news will filter back. The news of his disgrace is made public, not just... yes, it makes the Roman Empire look bad, but the Roman Empire is shifting the blame. It's like the Empire isn't taking the blame for this. They're like, no, it's his fault. You in particular screwed this up. Which you also can read later as the Empire's way of trying to calm the waters between the Empire and your house. Because they'd rather you didn't do that again.
Nice.
But back to current day.
Yeah, let's beam everybody back up and
They know we'll bring the heat any day, anytime.
and head back to the Empire. Recloak and head out through the hole we made in the asteroid field sensors.
As your ships begin to enter cloak, because you probably don't want to be seen leaving you want to be caught on your way out by patrols, you get a general hail from the resistance forces. Because they heard you call out.
Right.
We of the Iltrill thank you for your efforts in liberating us from our oppressors. Your assistance and armaments were instrumental in the defeat of our enemy. For this, we thank you greatly, and offer up this information we have from the general that once ruled here. And you are told, he basically sent a data file to your ship, because you're the one that broadcasted, that indicates that the next month's shipment from Narendra Station was coming from a traitor calling him... who matches Ba'anan's description, a Klingon.
Ooh.
And that they believe that the people, the Starfleet personnel, the Federation people on Narendra Station are assisting in his efforts. That's why they weren't really keen on asking the Federation for help. And they were kind of worried about Klingons helping them, because a Klingon was helping ship weird packages to the planet. But hey, you guys went above and beyond to help them, so in fair trade, because they believe in fair trade, Especially since you helped liberate their planet, they figure they won't charge you any money for this information.
How nice of them. Do we... Okay, well, I can figure that all out later if we have the usual route of... Do we have the usual route of the transport?
How do you mean?
Well, okay, what's the rough travel time between Narendra and here?
If you left straight from here?
Yeah, or if you traveled straight from Narendra to here.
Oh, let me figure that out for you. 1 second. Roughly 6 days.
Okay.
Probably probably over that if you're trying to smuggle it or be quiet about it. So more like 7 or 8 days.
But well under a month, so that shipment is probably just not going to happen at all now because it wouldn't. I was wondering if it had already left and might have been en route and thereby catchable.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
But yes.
Still, good information.
Victory is yours.
Nice. Head back to the Empire.
With a new song on your lips, victory are back. You now have even more information that your dreaded enemy Button-On still lurks in space and continues his battle against you. As for the Romulan Vetham, he is... If he didn't hate you before, he definitely does now. But he kind of has other problems. He has to deal with his humiliation before the court, as it were, before the Senate. But for now, those of you out there, thank you very much for watching, and we hope to see you again next time as we get to see what new glories House SupQit'aH will win. But once again, thank you very much, and we'll see you next time.